Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you guys had a great Wednesday. We got quite a few stories to cover today. We've seen quite a few updates on the miners. We also have some story from Cleanspark, but first we'll always get into Bitcoin. First, we'll take a look at obviously the miners here today. They did a lot better than they did yesterday, which is great. Markets did a lot better today as well. We'll take a look at Digital, Digihost, Iris Energy. They all provided their August updates today. Iris Energy had a great update. We'll take a look at it. And then we also have obviously Cleanspark that we're probably going to cover first. They bought another 10,000 miners, the End Miner S9J Pros. Those are going to be coming in October, November timeframe, somewhere around there. But we'll take a look at it. This is just a continuation of their purchasing spree here in the last couple of weeks, which is fantastic. And it's really exciting to see. But at first, as always, not financial advice. You guys know this. For entertainment only, do your own research. And I'm investing in following coins and companies. Excuse me. And for full disclosure, I did buy a little bit of Cleanspark today, shares, and along with Bitfarms, I added to my dollar cost average in today in the morning. So we got that going on, and I'm looking to possibly get some more next week and the following week as well. We'll see where prices end up at. But, excuse me. Looking at NASDAQ was up 2.14% today. Dow Jones was up 1.32%. S&P was up 1.83%. And you're asking yourself, why was it up? Well, it was up because crude oil has been coming down. So here's the West Texas Intermediate. It is down today 81.52 roughly. It's up a little bit now in the after hours. But during the day, it fell basically 6.9%. And it has been falling here steadily ever since we reached the peak here, which was right around March 22nd. We gone up and back down, and we're back to where we were as of January 14th of this year. So it's obviously come way down in price, which is good, which is helping the stock market. But we still have obviously the fear of inflation. We'll see what the data comes out next week on that one. So let's get into the Bitcoin here. Bitcoin had a nice day today as well. It was up 2.88% so far in the day. It obviously bottomed out here today at a low of 18,527. We are at 19,332 right now. So this is a nice recovery as well, and that's based on the markets going up. Bitcoin has gone up as well, so the miners have gone up as well. So right now we are battling with our resistance at 19,500. We did come above it a little bit here during the day. We fell below it, so we'll see if we can battle through it again, and then we'll have our trend line here possibly acting as resistance. It has in the past. We'll see if it actually gets over it and goes up, or if we're going to go back down lower. Hoping that's not the case. All right, Ethereum is at 1,636 right now. It is up 4.92% on the day as well, and it has been obviously following suit with Bitcoin here. RSI is still in the middle, so we're not overbought, not oversold, so we are looking good there. All right, let's take a look at Annie here. Annie was up 1.58% to 57 cents. Argo was actually down 4.14% to 40 cents today. Digital was up 5.84% to $1.45. Bitfarms was up 5.22% to $1.21. Cleanspark was up nicely today to 7.56%. Ever since the news came out, it was kind of running today, which is good. And we'll take a look at the news here shortly. Cores was basically flat at zero at $2.08. Digihost was up nicely as well, 7.84% to 75 cents. DMG was up 2.64% to 21 cents. Greenidge was up 4.25% to $2.21. Hive was up 1.29% to $4.32. Hut 8 was down 0.55% to $1.82. Iris Energy was up 5.13% to $4.30. Luxfolio was flat today at 0.7 cents right now. Marathon was up 5.04% to $11.68. Mawson was down 1.09% to 70 cents. Riot was up 2.34% to $6.55. And Soluna was up 3.59% to $2.60. And lastly, Stronghold was up 4.62% to $1.36 on the day. And that is it for the miners. Let's take a look at the news stories that we got on them. But first, we have 559 days left until the next halving event, roughly. So we still got quite a ways to go. We'll have to see where I think we might be trading sideways here for a while, maybe go up to 30, 40,000, but then come back down a little bit before the halving. So first story is obviously on Cleanspark here. So Cleanspark buys 10,000 miners, 10,000 more latest generation mining machines, extending summer of acquisitions. And it has been on fire this summer. It has been buying not only facilities, but miners as well. So I'm really excited for them, excited for what the stock could possibly do going forward. This obviously is going to increase their hash rate relatively quickly in a short period of time, which is also great. So today they announced it has entered into a purchase agreement with Cryptech Solutions for 10,000 brand new Bitmain Antminer S19J Pros units for a total cost of $28 million after credits and discounts. The servers are expected to be delivered to Cleanspark facilities by late October or early November of this year. So maybe get them energized by the end of the year, I'm guessing here. In December, we should get at least a portion, if not all of that, 1 exahash getting installed. If those are at 100 terahash miners, which I believe they are. The other good thing is they obviously got those at about $28 per terahash, which is really good. Obviously, these miners were a lot more beginning of this year, but they have come down in price. Other miners have been picking these up also on spot markets at like $32 per terahash. So they actually had or gotten a really good deal on this, which is great. Continuing on here, the company's sustainable growth strategy coupled with the current cryptocurrency market conditions enabled the company to purchase the machines at a substantially discounted price compared to the spot market price. Earlier this year, Bitmain, the manufacturer and seller of the devices, sold the S19J Pro model on its official website in January for as much as $116 per terahash, whereas the company purchased the 10,000 units for approximately $28 per terahash. Huge discount from that, 75%, maybe more than that, 80% down from where it was. So that's obviously a good buy there. During the tail end of the bull market last year, we strategically focused on building infrastructure instead of following the then industry trend of pre-ordering equipment months in advance, said Zach Bradford of Cleanspark. This strategy positioned us to make purchases of landed rigs at significantly lower prices, thus reducing the time between deploying capital and hashing, accelerating our return on investment, which is actually really true. So that's one of the reasons I have been investing in them, along with some others, but I am looking at other miners to invest in as well. Not financial advice, you guys know the drill. We're prepared for challenging times, which allowed us to take advantage of unique opportunities created by the current market, accelerating our growth trajectory, said Matt Schultz, executive chairman. Simply put, we're strategically avoided lengthy delays in receiving machines and energizing circuits, quickly adding long-term value to our stakeholders, which I agree. Let's see here. Down here. So Cleanspark now has more than 40,000 Bitcoin mining machines operational at all of its sites with a daily production high of 14.9 Bitcoins a day and a current hash rate of 3.8 exahash. So they actually grew their hash rate within the last week or so since they provided their August update, which we'll get into the numbers here really quick. And this is all that we have on them right now. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet that I have, and we'll look at some other stuff. So currently, I have them at 3.4 exahash is what they reported at the end of August. They are saying that they are at 3.8 already. So they've already installed 400 extra petahash into their machines based on this. They're at 3.8, I have them at 3.4. So that's 400 petahash installed already. And they are mining, 14.9 Bitcoins basically. So in my update that I did on them for August, I said that as long as all the miners stay in put that are installed at that time at 3.4 exahash, I said possibly they could be looking at mining about 451 BTC at that time. So now if we just take 14.9 and multiply that by 30 days equals this times 30 days, we get to 447, which I wasn't too far off. So it looks like it's going to be a really good September for them, getting above the 400 mark as far as BTC being mined, and that's as long as they can have everything energized for the whole month. So that's where we're looking on that. Hash rate obviously is going to be growing as well. They're at 3.8 already, so that's going to help them out tremendously as well. We could be above 450 BTC per month in September. We did add, obviously, the 10,000 miners are going to be added here. That got them to, at least what I have them at, 5.85 exahash by the time everything is said and done right now for everything that's recorded. So the only time I include miners in the spreadsheets is if they actually announce buying them. They obviously stated in the past and have stated that they want to get to 23.3 exahash, I believe, by the end of next year. So that gets them pretty close to that, gets them about a quarter of the way there with what they currently have. So they still have a long ways to go. But nonetheless, this is great news. I'm highly bullish on them right now. and I'm looking to pick up obviously more. So that's just what I'm doing. Don't follow me. Do your own advice. Do your own research and go with that, I guess. Things could obviously go way south. They could go way lower depending on where Bitcoin goes. So there is obviously a lot of risk. We know that Bitcoin is very volatile, and the miners are even more volatile than Bitcoin is. So there's always risk. There's a lot of risk. So be careful if you do invest. All right, so that's Cleanspark there. Let's take a look at the other stories that we have here. So Digital provided their mining update also for August. So corporate highlights for August is company earned 145.3 BTC, which is an increase of 2% over the prior month. Not a big increase, but nonetheless, it's still an increase. Treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were 919.2 of Bitcoin and 3,684 of Ethereum, with a fair market value of approximately 18.4 million and 5.7 million. And what else do we have here? During the month, the company purchased 561 M30 miners. Those are, I believe, the 88 terahash miners. So that's what I put them down as. And sold 103 of the M21 miners. I haven't taken this part out yet. I got to look to see which ones those might be actually. So when we actually look at my spreadsheet, you guys will see that. Miner deployment. So during the month of August, the company continued to work with hosting partners to deploy miners, 29% of its current owned fleet, or 11,545 Bitcoin miners and 0 Ethereum miners, representing 1.04 exahash and 0 terahash, respectively, was deployed in North America as of August 31, 2022. The company's Ethereum miners remain offline due to previously announced interruptions to certain hosting partners' operations, which we've covered here in the past as well. So, plus with Ethereum going to proof of stake, I don't know if they're going to be mining those anymore. Those might be a write-off here coming at the end of the quarter here. So that's all we got. Let's see here. I want to make sure that we got 919.2. I got to update this. That was for Digital. 919.2. Okay, so that's where we are. Let's start out over here. Current hash rate is about, I have it at 1.9. They said 1.04. So we're not too far off from that. Future hash rate is 2.8 if they get everything installed. So they're about 38% installed right now. They still have about 158% growth in them left. And then looking at the numbers here, they mined 145.3 in August, 142.5 in July. That is a little bit of an improvement in the BTC per petahash, which is 0.13323. And the only reason that's an improvement is because they didn't add anything into their miners. They didn't add any miners during the month of August, it looks like. With that, when that happens, your efficiency goes up on the BTC per petahash because you're not increasing hash rate, which we record here at the end of the month. And then obviously you're going to be mining less depending on when those miners are installed. So this is why this is pretty good. And it was actually pretty good as well in July. The only bad month that they had was actually June here. Other than that, they were around 13, 11, and they've stayed above 13, which is good. We got them at about 3.249 million in revenue right now. They did sell about 145.3 BTC during the month for a total of 3.2 million roughly, using the average Bitcoin price for the month. So that is actually pretty good. They're, pretty much sold what they earned here. Yeah. Looks like they sold pretty much whatever they earned or mined, they basically sold it here. At least that's what we're showing up here. Oh, actually, I should probably update that. 9912. Sorry about that. See, I almost missed something. 919.2. So they actually sold a 115.2, 2.5 million worth. All right, that makes a little bit more sense. Next, going down here, since they didn't install anything, we're not going to really cover anything, but I did mark in here that they did purchase the 503 miners at 88 terahash. That got them to additional 44 petahash roughly. When those do get installed, they didn't provide when they are getting installed. Institutions, we do have 77 institutions, which is a decrease from August of 2. But the good thing is obviously shares did increase to 14.2 from 13 million. So that's a good increase there. And percentage owned also increased to 7.26, which is also really good. Other than that, there's still the same buy rating, one buy rating. High, average, and low stayed the same at $4. So we only have obviously one analyst that still thinks they could get to $4. All right, so that covers all of that information. BTC HODL is about 18.2 million. HODL to market cap is 15.28 million, and share per price or share one share has 22 cents of HODL basically in it right now, if we look at it that way. So based on what we're seeing here, we're looking at possibly this current quarter that we're in, the third quarter, they could make about 9.2 million. If things stay the same, and obviously if they don't get any more miners installed, if things just stay the same in September, we're looking at about 9.2 million. Last 3 quarters are 28.8 million, so a combined 38 million roughly. So with 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $3.46 at a PE of 15. And if we use the PE, the 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $5.20. Given that they are, well, they still have quite a bit of growth left in them. So I could see them getting to 15 once Bitcoin starts going back up. I don't have a problem with that. So not a great update by them. They at least were able to manage to mine a little bit more BTC, but that is possibly because I think August had one more day than July did, if I'm not mistaken. But that could be the reason for it, especially since they didn't increase their hash rate at all. So that is it. Not bad. They stay the same, which is okay. They obviously need to get more miners installed. So that is Bit Digital right now. All right, let's get into the other ones. Next one is Iris Energy. And Iris Energy provided this update. We'll just go over it relatively quickly here. So average operating hash rate was at 2.2 exahash. Bitcoins mined was 301. Mining revenue was 6.6 million. Electricity cost was 2.4 million. And then electricity cost per Bitcoin is about $8,000. So that's not too bad at all. Then they did provide quite a bit of corporate update about as far as all the different locations. But the only thing that I really want to take a look at here is this part. So as previously announced, on August 1st, the company reached agreement with Bitmain to ship an additional 1.7 exahash of the S19J Pro miners, increasing expected operating capacity from 4.3 exahash to 6 exahash. 46.7 million of the previous 130 million of payments made to Bitmain, along with additional payments of 5.9 million of cash on hand, were utilized as payment for the additional 1.7 exahash of miners. Okay, so I think that's a good thing there. Obviously, they're getting an additional 1.7 exahash that got them to 6 exahash, which is good, from 4.3. And we'll take a look at where I have them here. Let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to go over. There isn't. They are obviously going to provide their numbers for Q2 on Tuesday, September 13th. So we'll go over that when that actually happens, and we'll cover it obviously when they do provide it. All right, so let's take a look at my numbers here for Iris Energy. I have them still at 15 exahash total, but that's probably not until the end of possibly next year sometime. They are reaching obviously to get to 6 exahash by the end of this year, it looks like. They are at 2.2 currently and having a pretty nice boost here this month, or in August actually. So percentage operational, they are at 14.68% right now. Hash rate growth, still 581% to go. So that's obviously good. BTC HODL is 0. They use all of their mined BTC to fund operations, growth, and everything else, which is great. And here is the numbers for the month of August. So they reported they were at 2.204 exahash on average. So when they report on average, they started out maybe at 1.5 exahash, or if they reported, somewhere around there between 1.1 and maybe 2.5 exahash by the end of the month. But this is the average they're providing. So we're using that. That got us to installing, looks like 10,609 miners for the month, which is huge. And got them up 1.039 exahash. So that's also a huge increase. They haven't had any major increases here in the last couple of months, which is obviously good to see that they got everything installed at one of their facilities and got it energized. And that's a huge increase for them. So nice job on that. That obviously resulted in 301 BTC being mined. And their BTC per petahash average or rate is 0.1365, which is also pretty good. It's obviously up there with some of the best ones out there. The value for that was 6.7 million that we got based on the Bitcoin average price for the month. They did mine obviously 147 more Bitcoins for the month of August than they did in July, which is also good, and it's a 95% increase over that. So that was good. So here's the miners that we got installed. And let me see here. June, July, August. Here we go. So we installed basically in August. How many do we install? There we go. We installed the 90 terahash miners here, the 100 terahash miners here, and some 90 terahash miners here as well. So that got us to the 2.204, which they reported as being the average. Obviously, I think they're probably at 2.5, maybe 2.6 by this point, if not higher than that. But this is just the average, so we'll go with that. And we got them to the 6.7 that we had up top, which is good. So going forward, it looks like they August had 31 days. So they got to 6.7. September has 30 days, so that'll get them to possibly 5.7 with the price of Bitcoin where it's at right now. And if Bitcoin goes up, obviously, that's going to have an effect on it as well in September. But that's where we got them at. So this was obviously a huge increase for them this month, getting a lot of miners installed. So that's good. But we still have a lot of miners here that are going to be in Q2, Q3, Q4, and then we have a bunch of miners still in 2023. And they did report getting 1.7 exahash for this year. Not sure where this fits into it. And not really sure as far as what they're doing with the 2023 miners. Are those on hold right now? Are they just waiting to build out? Possibly maybe the market turn a little bit with Bitcoin going up in price. I think they probably just put things on hold. But if you know anything further than that, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear it. And looking at it here, institutions-wise, we did get a little bit of decrease here to 39 from 40. 8.6 million shares from 9.2, so a little bit of decrease. And percentage owned also went down to 15.71 from 16.82. And I think it is because they provided that they are going to be slowing down, obviously, their growth a little bit here while the market is down, which is understandable. You only have so much capital to put into it. With Bitcoin being down the way it is, you're obviously not making as much as you were when it was at 60,000, 50,000, and so on. So overall, great month for them. Let's take a look at the numbers up top here. So we're looking at the combined last 3 quarters and then this current quarter at about $64 million in revenue for them. 50% net income would be $32 million, and a P of 20 would be $11.72. They are at $4.30 right now, so still way undervalued. And then if we're using the 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $17.59 with a P of 20, obviously the same. So very nice month for them, excellent month for them. It's a huge increase. It's going to be one of the top 3 best increases in the hash rate here, I think, for the quarter, or for August, actually. We still are waiting on some of the miners to report their August, so we'll hold off on making that judgment. But right now, it's looking like one of the top 3 miners here getting hash rate up, which is great. And that is it for Iris Energy. Terrific, obviously, month for them. So no qualms there. They just got to keep it up, obviously, to get to 6 exahash by the end of the year. You got September, October, November, December. You got 4 months. You basically have to install 1 exahash each month, more or less, to get to the 6 exahash by the end of the year. So they obviously have their work cut out for them. All right, so that's it for Iris Energy. Let's take a look at Digihost. And Digihost was going to be a quick one here, and then we'll be done with it. So Digihost mined 67.97 BTC, resulting in total holdings of 176.61 BTC at the end of August. And that is valued at roughly $3.5 million if you're using the end of Bitcoin price of $20,050. Ethereum holdings are the same, 1,000.89. Those haven't changed at all. Those are valued at approximately $1.56 million. And then total digital asset inventory value consisting of BTC and Ethereum of $5.10 million. And then to avoid equity dilution for its shareholders, management sold a portion of its BTC production during August to fund its energy costs, which is good. The company remains debt-free as of August 31st, which is really good. And then in continuing its support of the power needs of the local community, the company reduced its overall energy consumption during the month of August, with its operating running predominantly at off-peak hours. Then they got year over year, and I think that is it for them. So it's going to be a really quick one for them. They did not provide any updates as far as hash rate is concerned, so I believe that nothing got installed. Everything is still the same as it was in August. So that was Digihost. Digihost is currently at 597 petahash. Future is about 1.14. They are about 52% installed already. 90%, 91% growth still from where they are, obviously. And BTC HODL 176. Is that where they provided? 176. Okay, I got that right. And that equates to about 3.5 million. HODL market cap is 16.94%. And each share has about 13 cents of HODL position if you look at it that way. Now, they mined 67.97 BTC in August. They mined 64.17. So that's basically an increase of 3.8. Not a very big increase. And like I said, that could be just because obviously the month of August was a little bit longer one day. That helped them out, basically mine a little bit more. And got them to about 1.5 million in revenue using the end of the average Bitcoin price for the month. And they did sell about 111 BTC for the month to fund operations, obviously. So there's that. Obviously, they didn't put any miners in. Looking at institutions, we do have 22 institutions, which is down 2, but shares did increase to 1.9 million from 1.8. So that's good as well. Percentage owned also increased to 6.85 from 6.67, which is also good. And then the buy rating stayed the same at 1 buy, and high, average, and low price targets stayed the same at $3.80. Actually, they went down 8 cents from where they were. So the one analyst downgraded a little bit as far as that's concerned. So looking where they are right now, we got them at a 10 PE, basically. It's kind of where I'm thinking they could possibly be because they don't have a lot of future growth left in them. They were at one point pretty much all plugged in here. We could see here in April before they ran into some issues with their facility. And I think they're just waiting basically for the facility to come back online before everything gets plugged in, and then they'll be done for, it looks like. They have not provided any news of buying any additional miners. So for that reason, I have it at a PE of 10. And that would represent them basically earning 28.8 million here in the current quarter and last 3 quarters. And at 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $5.29 for the stock, which is still way above where they are right now. So that'd still be a nice increase there. And at 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $7.94. So in my opinion, they're still way undervalued, just like the majority of the miners here are. And that's it. I mean, obviously, they got to get that facility up and running that's having issues, and they'll be pretty much maxed out as far as their hash rate is concerned. So, excuse me. Overall, it was a okay month, I guess you could say. They at least didn't shut down for a long time. So that was good. So going back a little bit, Cleanspark, huge news, obviously, buying more miners. Then we had, what do we have? We had BitDigital was okay as well. They're still waiting for their miners to get installed. Wasn't too bad. They at least were above where they were in June or July, which is good. We'll see how September comes in for them. And then Iris Energy, obviously, huge month for them as far as increasing their numbers. And then Digihost was just, it was okay. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. Helps me out tremendously. Helps the YouTube algorithm out. Helps the channel out. Helps more people see the video as well. So if you guys did enjoy it, please hit the like button. It would help a lot. Also, spreadsheets, as always, are available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their support. Love everyone there. Love everyone here watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We're still waiting on a couple miners to report. And then obviously Iris Energy is going to report next week. So we'll get that out. We had the CPI data next week as well. So we'll get into all that as well. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys in the next one.